market.
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
Oh, Wednesday, January 29th. Happy to see you guys again on the PKT Community Roundtable. Lots to dive into. What?
Almost the end of January. Crazy.
Yeah, I know. This
Yeah,
year,
we're done
it's
with
already-
this month.
Yeah, I'm done with this month too. Ready for Pump February. Or
Yeah.
so they say.
Yeah, trash January is just not the month that we were hoping for.
Yeah, man. It's just like I feel like it's like good news is bad news and bad news is bad news. It's like what news do we get that's going to be good and just everyone's going to pump everyone's bags to Valhalla.
Yeah, it wasn't the month for that. It was the month for shorting.
It was the month for market manipulation is what it was.
And liquidations. Yeah, that was the name of the game at the exchanges. It's just how many people they could liquidate. They what was that? Was that on Monday? They liquidated $980 million worth of positions off the exchanges. I mean, and that's at least the third time this month where there's been, over $500 million in liquidations. So once a week, exchanges are getting rich. And especially since they don't need a legal defense fund anymore against the SEC. So they're all just buying Lambos.
Reallocation.
Going to the bank.
So
the big challenge is that retail isn't here. And the reason retail isn't here is because there's not a lot of things that are bringing retail in. And it's really been kind of an echo chamber.
I will say there was a moment when Bitcoin hit the all-time high at 105 or 104, where I was getting messages from my friends saying, I hear I need to get Bitcoin. How do I get Bitcoin? And I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And then it got absolutely just axed. And we had that really nasty crash in the beginning of the year. And then I think that spooked everybody, especially because stocks went down too. So everyone was like, whoa, what's this? I'm going to pause and just get confirmation that we're really going up. And so I think that really messed up a lot of things.
Yeah, short-sighted for sure.
Yeah, but if you bought Bitcoin, you'd be fine. I mean, Bitcoin's been staying it's fluctuated for sure, but it hasn't, not like the altcoins.
Yeah, look, Bitcoin's actually been pretty solid. And now that it's, gotten itself over 100 and it's just been hanging out over 100, and anytime it dips under, it ends up right back. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of momentum on Bitcoin and XRP. XRP's been hanging out for almost 2 months over $3. So yeah, there's definitely some positive sides of the story, and there's some positive sides on the packet story for sure. It hasn't been on the charts. We have not hit our stride on the trading side of packet, but the key here, and it's kind of always been the challenge, has been on the marketing front and just achieving a breakthrough. And the key about marketing for packet is just having the resources to spend on marketing. And we've always tried to do it with the resources that we've had, and at the periods of time, it's catch 22, and that at the periods of time when we had a lot of resources and the price of packet was higher, we just didn't have the tools that we have today and the tech that we had today. And now that we have all the tech, now you need all that cash again, and the market cap's low, so you don't have as many resources to kind of drive the marketing effort forward. So we'll talk today a bit about marketing, because that's obviously been a big part of the story and need of the project. And then the other thing that we just want to obviously highlight is where things are on the tech front, because there's unbelievable achievements here, and the current status of the project in terms of technology development, I think, has reached somewhat of a plateau in the sense that some of the big initiatives and endeavors that Caleb was working on are now live on the website, and then, or I should say, on the dashboard. And then with the packet domain technology, packet DNS, and this dashboard that we've been so lucky to have a community member, Rivaldi, developing. It's just got some unbelievable features to it, and I'm not sure if people are using that every single day. But Jerry, you should put a piece of text on the screen right here with the link to insight.pkt.live, just to kind of drive some people over to the dashboard, which is just a tremendous tool. It does a lot of things, and I'm not sure if people have been setting up CJDNS nodes or what ways that people are using the dashboard that was created there on insight.pkt.live, but it's a tremendous tool. What's your favorite part of the tool that the dashboard that he created, Caleb?
Well, I mean, the one I use a lot or the most is domains, because I want to check what's going on and what top level domains exist so that I can configure appropriately. But the CJDNS tab is pretty useful too. Oh, what do we got for domains? What do we have for registered websites now? We have Bet, Bit, Bounce, CJD, Insight, Josh, Minify, Neo, and Wiki. Interesting.
Oh yeah, we should talk about Minify. Is a really cool feature that just got launched by Rivaldi, is allowing people to do link shortening. It's like a free tool for link shortening, which is rad. I was just actually, I don't know, Caleb, if you remember, I was actually trying to find a link shortener, not a link shortener, but like just a link shortener that you could edit, easily. And I was having all these trouble finding like a free one, or even just one that was like, decently priced. And
Now you got a free one.
Now I got a free one on the Packet Network. It's so rad. Hey, everyone who's here, real quick before we continue forward, please repost this live. Let's spread this out to everyone's communities. Spread it far and wide. I know this is the shameless promotion part of the live, but the more people that join, the more awareness we bring to the project, which is lucrative to the growth. So thank you all.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we got some really cool stuff. I mean, this has been growing. This the node map right here, we're over 150 or 151 nodes now. Starting to see some good density in Europe. Still nothing out in Russia, but big old
or China.
In China is. I was trying to find a node in China. I think I found one, so I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one up in there.
Try to get one in like Afghanistan or something.
Yeah, some Middle East.
Reminds me of like Risk.
And then there's nothing in Africa.
There's one in South Africa. I was looking.
There's nothing in Canada, because I saw, it's weird because I did see I saw that someone had one in. So go back.
These ones at the top are Canada, just because they're, probably more likely Canada than Montana.
Maybe, but yeah, it's a little weird because it's on this side of the border. But go.
Here's one. This one looks like it's in Nova Scotia or something.
Yeah, I guess maybe that is where it is in Canada, on that side.
Yeah.
But if you go to, I saw when I was looking at OVH, if you go back to network and type under ISP right there, or I guess you could do Canada. Yeah, type OVH. Yeah, so there's a bunch of nodes in Canada. But yeah, it's weird that they're not showing up.
Yeah, look, they're all over on the East Coast, it looks like. Kamatura. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, yeah, those are just the company names. But anyways, this is a fantastic tool. So what you can do is, if you have a node, that you're looking into, you can put it into this IPv4 address tester. So grab one of these nodes right down here, Jer. just
These
grab
ones?
someone's IP, yeah, and then put it into the tester. So you can, once you get your node, and it will show you what your yield bonus is going to be. So like this node right here, interestingly, would be getting 100%. Here would be getting 100%.
With the 200% bonus.
200% bonus, excuse me. So yeah, you can put it in and see what kind of yields you're going to get. Right now, yields are, I think it's like 284 packet per million. It's actually a really good time to light up a CJDNS node because the price of packet is lower. So you can put more packet on a node, and you can put, I think it's like around 6.2, 6.3 million packet per node. So if you get a node that's like, let's say 15 or 20 bucks for the year, you're able to put over 6 million yield credits. And if you do find a node that's getting a 200% bonus like this, meaning there's no one else at that ISP and there's no one else on that IP block, and in that location, then you could be earning somewhere right around 5,000 packet a day, or sometimes even a little bit more. So super lucrative, little moment. Get some yield credits staked up and assigned to CJDNS node, and you could get a nice array of CJDNS nodes live right now. Good time to do it. There's still, obviously a lot of territory that's not covered yet, and you can get yourself dialed in here. So yeah, there's just a lot of tools, a lot of resources and information here about the network growth. And I mean, these stats just for looking at the growth here is pretty fantastic. So there's quite a lot going on. Now, what I will say is you should go also check your pub ID and just make sure it's live, because there's actually quite a bit of nodes that are inactive. So you might need to go kick your node, make sure you're yielding. I mean, look at those. There's millions of yield credits that are inactive. So might want to go check your nodes, make sure it's happening. And
also, if you've staked, I mean, and you haven't set up a CJDNS node, I mean, it's super, super easy to set them up. And they only cost, like, you can find, VPSs for, under $20 a year.
Yeah. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like
Easily $2, like in under, you can find them.
Yeah.
But even anything under $4 on OVH, they're about $4.50 a month. So you're going to spend, $50, $60 a year at OVH. So OVH is not the cheapest, but OVH, is a great ISP and provide a lot of convenience for sure.
You should send everyone to Hexner, since they were the ones that
so Caleb, what would happen if someone sets something up on Hey Jared, go look and see if there's anything on Hetzner.
Okay.
It'll work fine.
It'll work fine just because it's CJDNS and it's not packet crypt.
Right. Yeah, they blocked packet crypt and they blocked the pools.
For those of you that don't know the story, when we first when this was a proof of work mining algorithm, Hetzner was our first ISP that blocked us because we were using all of their bandwidth, and they didn't like that. You're paying for a cheap server and you were just wrecking their entire data center.
Yeah, and Packet Pow was pretty responsible for that, but a lot of people in the community were responsible. They were offering really, really cheap servers, and we set up. What did we set up, Caleb? You probably remember better than me because you were manning the ship on that one. But we did what, 3 full racks.
Yeah, it was something like that, 2.5, something like that. But yeah, we were ordering so many machines that it was they would sell them by the rack rather than individual machines.
Yeah, we had a huge pool set up there, and they canceled it, to say the least. But they're a pretty predatory ISP.
That company, I'm not sure I would say predatory, but maybe fickle is the better term for it. There's a lot of stories about people with different kinds of websites, and Hetzner gets it in their mind that they don't like whatever that person's hosting or doing, and they get canceled. There was a pretty recent story about somebody who had, I believe, 7 terabytes of data on their servers, and Hetzner canceled them and deleted the data, and they didn't have backups. So that was a real mess. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like it's a cheap ISP and you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
OVH, on the other hand, OVH has been hosting packet.cache for 5 years now, and it takes a lick and it keeps on ticking. I mean, I've had OVH servers since 2016. OVH hosted CryptPad, still hosts a CryptPad project. I mean, yeah, I've had OVH servers running since 2016. I retired one in about 2019, 2020. And the only reason I retired it was because the hardware was getting old and I could get a cheaper one with newer hardware. So, yeah, I mean, I think I can remember one time that the server had an outage, downtime, like the actually being disconnected from the internet. And I don't think it ever was powered off. I don't think there was ever a power failure of an OVH server in my history of using them.
Except for that one time that their entire data center burned to the ground.
There was, yeah, they lost a data center in was it Strasbourg? Yeah, and that was bad deal for a lot of people because they had backups, but the backups also burned, and yeah, that was rough. But other than that, I mean, nothing of mine has ever had any real problem from them. I mean, it's more, yeah. OVH single machine is more stable than Amazon Cloud. You know, Amazon Cloud does go down. You read about it in the newspaper, Twitter. OVH servers are so stable that they actually beat Amazon Cloud on average. And I'm not paid to speak for OVH. They're not giving me anything. They just like it.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is you know the community is building this network. It's powered by the community. But I think we should get into what's built on top of that network, and why we do this. You know, we were talking at the beginning of this you know, live stream about retail and like why do retail get involved, and I think it's really about call to action. It's like what do? You know, it's cool to make money, and you know, but the truth is there's tons of projects out there that you can make money with, right? In fact, almost all crypto projects are about making money. So what's different from Packet from the hundreds of other, you know, crypto projects about making money? And I think it's really about what you can do with this network. And that's why these domains are so rad. And you know, we were talking about domains and people setting up websites, but that's really like the beating heart of this is like, okay, we're building this network. We have hundreds of nodes around the world that are running. Then what? And it's really about what you're able to build on top of this network. And you know, me personally, I think I probably spend thousands of dollars a year on domains, just renewing them. And so being able to have free domains for life is super rad. And then being able to just build stuff on top of it. And so I just went out to Sundance Film Festival to meet with the community of filmmakers out there about the Packet Hub and about the Creators Hub, and being able to talk to people about their needs. And you know, you have thousands of filmmakers out there that have made movies of all different kinds. Some will get distribution, some won't get distribution. And being able to provide a resource for these creators to be able to market and sell their work. And that's what's got me really excited about this Creator Hub that we just launched, which allows any creator to just upload their content and be able to self-promote it and be able to market it, whether they're sending them to their Amazon, you know, tile where they're able to sell their film, or whether they're self-distributing and now have a mechanism for discovery. And so, yeah, just being able to create that. Jeremy, maybe you want to pull up the Creator Hub, and yeah, and just letting people, self-create and self-promote, and having this as a resource that's not built on the back of Amazon, that's not built on the back of these monopolies. It's built on the back of a community that is fully decentralized, and that becomes super exciting for me. And so, yeah, you can see right here that these are the different films. If you scroll down, you can see there's TV, there's podcasts, music, and people can just upload their content here and be able to self-promote. We're starting to get submissions that are coming in, and each creator is claiming a domain that's related to their piece of work and staking Packet, and that is the link that's taking them to wherever they want to promote it. And so that kind of brings all this stuff together, where that's why this is, become this media network, is all the stuff that's built on top of the Packet network. And people are able to use this for self-promotion and for marketing. And that becomes really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, this, and here's the thing that I was saying to you, Josh, is in the way that I'm looking at where Creator Hub needs to go, because this is going to quickly evolve to having, hundreds and then thousands of titles being added. And what a lot of people are struggling with right now in the media space is how to promote, how to market. And this is not just, when I say media space, I mean, this doesn't just include like digital entertainment, but, even books, podcasts, music. It's not just like film, TV stuff, but people are trying to figure out how to be discovered. And we have these social networks where a lot of promotion happens, from, Instagram to TikTok and everything in between. But you're then competing with all these things that are going viral and all these kind of famous creators. And if you're just a filmmaker or content creator or an author or something like this, and you're not famous, then how are people, and you don't have a million followers, then how are people going to find your content? So sure, you could try and make a viral piece of content, but even one viral piece of content doesn't mean that people are going to leave that social network and go and buy something. And it becomes very difficult for people to get discovered. So what do people resort to? Well, you need a big publisher or a big distributor or a big blog or publicity company to highlight or emphasize or promote your project. But that also costs money, and it takes a lot of expertise to achieve that. And so the goal with this platform is to kind of leverage, the power of a globally accessible network, so that people can, A, be discovered. You can put your content here. B, it will link back out. So you can have two kind of ways to use it. One, you can create your own page where people can click through directly off of the hub to your page, or and Caleb's building this thing out with the bounce technology. You'll have your Packet domain, and it will forward to wherever you want. So it could forward to your Netflix or Amazon or iTunes, page. It could forward to another web URL that is where you're promoting your content. And you're really just driving people over to those destinations, and it's just a way for promotion. So people will be able to add themselves to the Creator Hub and then link it to wherever they want. And then there will be some advertising opportunities that we'll be introducing onto the hub as well. And the other piece that I find to be really compelling here is that when people secure, where this is going is that when people secure their Packet domain, they're going to be able to stake to their domain, and that will help rank them on the hub and give them more priority ranking. So it'll incentivize people to stake more, essentially hold more packets, stake more to their individual domain, and that will give them kind of like categorical hierarchy so that their project can kind of rise to the top and get the kind of visibility that they want. And that can help with the velocity of the cryptocurrency and give people the opportunity to highlight themselves in ways that you can't on the iTunes and the Amazons of the world. So those are just some of the mechanisms that become possible here. And it all is basically anchored and under the foundation of packet DNS, which, I find very exciting. I kind of was saying this to Josh last night, where I'm almost seeing this, as a social network that doesn't require any software, meaning you don't need to go download an app and register. We're not trying to, get signups. It's literally just a ecosystem of content that's denominated by the packet URL, the packet domain URL, and those URLs are globally accessible. So anybody can get access to this content just by going to this network. And I think where it will ultimately lead to, and people can get hip to the game here, for these projects to actually self-distribute. Like, what's the point of using, if you're already getting the traffic and people are going to your destination to buy your content, why are you driving them over to Amazon or iTunes and giving them 30% of your revenue? Why wouldn't you sell it directly off of your own domain? And that's ultimately where I would really love to empower people to utilize this technology so that they can cut the middleman out and not have to give, 30 to 50+% of their revenue to a platform just for allowing people to watch their content, And so right now, the content, everyone's using these platforms. Everyone's using Amazon and iTunes, and that's just Netflix. That's the way it is. But it's mostly because they don't have another way to easily distribute their content, or they were kind of drawn in by the cash guarantee that those platforms are offering, and you can't turn down upfront cash. So if Netflix is going to give you $1 million for your thing, you probably sell it to them. But for the other 99.9% of content that doesn't get the big deal from the studio or the big streamer, or doesn't have distribution, then this platform can be incredibly powerful for them to be able to self-distribute without having to give a fee to these major distributors. And
Yeah,
Josh
and that's
just walked the streets of Sundance, and what was the response you were getting from people?
Yeah, it's something that people are needing, like you have all kinds of content and they're all looking for a home to be able to distribute it. And this is that home. It's powered by creators, it's made for creators, and it's free to use for everybody. And there's opportunities to be able to market within the platform. But I think that's where it really makes everything we're building tangible, because now you're being able to solve real problems with this technology, and that becomes really powerful and really useful for the community at large. And so, yeah, I was just walking the streets, going to these events, going to films. I have friends who are in films, and they're all there trying to sell films and trying to get people to buy it. And it's interesting because Netflix wasn't even there this year. They don't even have a presence this year because they're just making their own content. And Amazon only had Audible was there. They didn't even have like the Amazon presence. So these big conglomerates are kind of just like, we'll just make it ourselves. We don't really care about the indie filmmakers anymore. So what are the indie filmmakers going to do? Where are you going to go and promote that stuff? Are you going to just take it to iTunes and get a distributor to take 60% of your movie to put it onto a platform that takes 30% of your movie? And that's what's available now, and it's wrong, and it's pretty messed up. And so it's been cool to take this technology that we've been building for so many years and be able to apply it to a sector that really needs this.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just so crazy.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like the music industry. You know, back in the day, it was all about the record labels, right? You get your song released by a record label, and they handle the distribution, but they take 40% of they take 40% or 50% or 100% or whatever it is, and they give you an advance. But then, they're independent distributors were allowing people to upload their music where they could get 100%. And they just, immediately just uploads it to iTunes, Spotify, Deezer. I mean, pretty much every single, like now there's so many streaming platforms. It's insane. Like, and it's just one click, boom, uploaded. You get to keep 100% of the revenue. And it was interesting, releasing music over the last 20 years, or I guess 15 years, really. Or no, is it 20 years? No, it's about 15. It's about 12 years, excuse me. And the songs that I released as self-releases, where I didn't have a record label do anything. I just put it up through, DistroKid or TuneCore or whatever. Those songs did significantly better than the songs that I released on the record labels. The difference was, record label will give you a little bit prestige in the industry, where it's like, hey, you got a song on this big record label, Universal. But they don't do anything for you. That's just the name. So they're basically taking your royalties forever just so that you can have that name, but you're actually not making any money as a creator. And so being able to release your music as yourself and get more money, now you have a place to have people come and discover, and you can advertise on a hub that, based on, staking or whatever the mechanism is going to be for the advertising. But it just is a game changer for independent creators on the music side, film side. I was even thinking, the book front, Book Talk is so huge. I mean, there's an app called Tome. I don't know if anybody's heard of this, but essentially Tome is a independent, when people heard that TikTok was going down, all the Book Talk people started freaking out because that's how they make their money. So they created a new app that allows you to just do book talk. And it's like, you can upload videos, you can upload your book reviews, and you have a profile, and it's super easy to discover, and communicate just with people in the book talk community. And that's a tab that we need to have on here, because being able to distribute your book through a portal. I mean, Amazon has it, you can go upload your book to Amazon and you can sell it to Amazon. They'll take their percentage. But I mean, dude, this is a game changer for people to discover new books. And
books need to go onto the Packet Hub and need to go into the Creator Hub for sure. Books is massive, and it's a missing category.
I mean, it's funny because books got they got basically destroyed when Barnes and Nobles and all the different retail outlets went under. But who picked up the flag? Target became one of the bigger book distributors. And people just, go to Target to get their books. Now Barnes and Nobles is coming back, and watch over the next 5, 10 years. I'll bet you they start opening more stores, and that business revives, because books are really on the. I think COVID really people were stuck inside. So what did they do? They either watched TV or read books.
Yeah, books went through a big transformation around the iPad around 2010.
Yeah, and Audible
and that
too.
was a big change. And then Audible came in and crushed more of that market, the streaming market, and then it just went through a weird period of digitalization, the Nook and these types of technologies. And then I think a lot of people just I like reading books. Like, books are books. I like having a physical book, and I can definitely see that coming back. But it's one of those weird situations that tried to go digital. I'm not saying that it's not been successful digital, but I'm saying I have been seeing a revival around the physical books. And for physical book sellers, they're still always at airports. There's always
it's the Book Talk. Book Talk really gave readers a way of generating income by reading. So now you could do something that you love to do, which was reading books. Well, hey, you read 10 books in a month, you can make 20 videos reviewing the books or talking about your book haul or whatever, and you post it
Hmm.
to TikTok or Instagram or wherever your platform is, and boom, all of a sudden you're now making money on these platforms while reading. And it just is I think that is what really, and the younger generation, the millennials, they were able to see like, hey, well, now something that I love to do, I can generate a career by just promoting people's books and getting affiliates on
Yeah.
selling these people's books.
Well, the
I
crazy
mean,
thing is like what's happened with the media space, right? Is that it's become, I mean, it gets monopolized. That's just what happens. And we've seen that happen. Amazon and iTunes have been doing a great job monopolizing various different industries, just expanding beyond. Now you got Apple getting into, games and books and music and film, and it's just, across the board, right? And same thing with Amazon. Amazon's in everything. I mean, now Amazon's how most people even just like shop for food and essentials, let alone like every single product that you're buying is getting priced out by Amazon. So, you're seeing this massive monopolization, and that provided a great amount of benefit and convenience for people. But what ultimately happens to creators is, getting onto those big monopoly platforms is you're just lost. It's just like, how do you get discovered? And it's not to say that you shouldn't use those platforms, because they're great in the sense that there's millions and millions of people there, but you still need to help people find you, and you need a tool for that. And there's a gap between how you get discovered and and how you get distributed, and that getting discovered piece is still very elusive. And so what happens with a lot of creators is they think that to get discovered they have to get distributed. They think that distribution means that they're going to be discovered, and it's actually it's a not accurate. It's not entirely accurate. And so what will happen a lot of times, and you see this out in Sundance, it's funny that, the big monopolies weren't even there, because they just stepped on the creators' backs and built their entire business on the backs of creators. And then now that they got what they wanted, which was, front row seat at the party, then they don't need them anymore. And that's common once in the world of monopolization. But what ultimately happens is that you get your distribution, and then the point that both Jeremy and Josh were making is that they just take all the revenue off the top, and you end up not making anything. So you get just the prestige of being distributed by one of these big entities, but you just don't get the money. And even worse, you get the prestige and it doesn't make any money. No one even finds it. And it doesn't even matter that you're on, Netflix or Amazon, but it's like no one's even watching the content because no one even knows it's there, because there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of titles there. So it's like, how are you going to be, discovered? And so, look, it's a long way of saying that this is to provide the community at large a tool for them to kind of, weaponize awareness, really create targeted awareness for their project without having to spend a huge amount of money or any money really. And we can build an ecosystem here. And so the next piece for PKT, for Packet here, is on the currency, PKT on the currency side and Packet on the network side, is to really put this tool out there and market it so that people know it's available and make it easy for people to use. So one of the things that I've been talking to Caleb about, and which is luckily we made it onto Caleb's short list of things that he's going to work on in the future here, is to try and create like a one-click domain registration situation. Because right now the way it works is you have to go to Packet DNS, PKT DNS. You have to see how much a domain is selling for, or staking for, I should say, at that moment in time. Then you have to go back and create a stake, and then you have to go back and reserve the domain. And so in that process, and I did this user story with someone, they didn't have any Packet, So they went and looked at how much it was. Then they went to Uniswap, bought Packet. Then they came back. The price of the domain had gone up. Then they had to go back and stake. Then they had to go back and secure it, and actually had to sit there and wait for 15 minutes for the price to go back down to the amount of Packet that they had bought off of Uniswap. So it's not a great experience yet. And if we could streamline that with one click, that would make it a lot easier. It doesn't solve the problem for how people get Packet, but assuming that you have Packet, you don't have to go and pre-stake it and then go back and link it. That would obviously be huge, because there's the potential that someone does it right before you, and or right in between that staking process, and now the price of the domain stake is going to go up. And yeah, it's just a little bit of, having that moving target is creating a little bit of friction. And I've worked with a couple people getting their domains, and the cool thing is that people are excited about it, so they're not backing out of the process, but there's an opportunity for improvement there, and enabling this tech to really scale out. So those are some of the things on the short-term roadmap in simplifying this. And the other thing that we've been talking about is kind of acting in the form of a registrar. So when you set up a Packet domain, you're the registrar. You basically are in custody of that. There's no central party that's custodying your domain. Like when you go buy a domain on Namecheap or GoDaddy, it's being custodied by them. In fact, we were just looking to transfer a domain off of GoDaddy. They want like $180. It's insane, right? So it's like you pay them like, anywhere between $10 to $50+ to, secure the domain. It's got a renewal fee. You have to pay that every year. And then if you want to move it off of them, they want to charge you $180 to transfer it. And it takes, I think you have to, was it 30 or 60 days you have to wait, Josh? Some crazy.
To transfer it? It was 60 days.
60 days. So you got to like stay with them for 60 days before you can transfer it. It's great product there. So obviously with a Packet domain, you can transfer it. You can just transfer the NFT, and we were experimenting with that. And you can basically go onto Basescan, and there's a function that allows you to transfer the NFT out of your wallet to somebody else. So it would be great to be able to build a front end for that would call that feature and allow people to just transfer domains. It would create like a secondary market for domains, which I think could be really, really cool. But also just simplifying. Some people are just going to want to come to the hub, and they're going to want to get their domain, and they're not going to want to deal with a Web3 with custodying it in their Web3 wallet, because the key is if you lose that wallet, and for some reason we're still running into this where people, didn't write down their recovery words and get a new phone and lose the wallet and then can't find the recovery words. You lost your domain. The domain's stuck on that wallet. And so there's an opportunity to create a kind of a registrar within the Packet ecosystem where people can look to that registrar to just custody their domains. And I think a lot of people would end up using that just because it's familiar. It's the same way that, GoDaddy, Namecheap, and these familiar processes of getting domain function. And so we've been looking at trying to create something like that would make it a lot easier for onboarding people into the Creator Hub and the Packet Hub. They come in, pay with a credit card, don't even have to worry about Packet. It does all the Packet transactions on the blockchain on the back end. The NFT for the domain is being custodied by a registrar in the community, and people can just now build, their website, their whatever their representation is on the network for their project, and just can focus on their project. And then we've also been talking about templating the way that people can build on the hub, just to again make it super simple for someone to come in, get their domain, get their web page, potentially even using some of these AI tools to build you a really cool web page, super easy, and start scaling out this network and making it as easy as possible for people to either use the bounce feature that Caleb's building that allows you to have your packet domain and then bounce the users over to another website, which is where your content is or where your project website is, or to choose to have the site just in the network and you can build directly onto your packet domain.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's going down, and it's cool because it's just I've always been about making this as easy as possible. That's why we had started PacketPal in the first place, because setting up servers can be complex for people, and the next kind of iteration of that is making it so domains are real simple for people, because there's no reason not to have them. And so yeah, it's just really about being able to provide these resources to people and make them real simple. And also, there's a lot of challenges you'll face with creators because they're not technical people, they're creative people. And so getting them to kind of step outside of their your usual way of life is challenging. You got to teach a old dog new tricks. But if we can make that really simple and frictionless, then I think we can just get an incredible amount of people to onboard to this and start using it. And that just gets me really, really excited.
Yeah. Look, and people are really interested. Josh not only got to connect with creators, filmmakers, and various different artists across different industries, but a lot of companies as well that were intrigued about partnering and either taking content that they're creating and adding it to the hub, or using it as a vehicle for marketing as well. Talking to a big provider called IndieFlix that's got over 3,500 titles about starting to use the hub. Josh got to talk to IMDb about which is a division owned by Amazon actually, about doing some coordinated marketing and directing of traffic over to some of the projects and endeavors that are happening with that entity, which is a very, very big and respected entity across the entertainment industry. Talking to musicians about promoting on the platform as well, and just across the board, this is a tool that people are interested in using, and making it as easy to onboard them is obviously going to be great. Let's spend the last 10 minutes just talking about marketing, because that's how the conversation started and that's how the conversation should end. I'll just give a quick update on the network steward side of things. So we had basically a delay in getting the first payment out of the network steward. There's some reconciliation that needed to happen. Caleb hadn't even been paid for his 4 months of work building out numerous different tech endeavors, but in particular packet DNS. So went retroactively reconciled everything, got him his payment, and then the first payment, which was advanced by our team for marketing, was then put into the network steward awarded wallet. But if anyone checks that wallet, you'll see that no funds have been moved out of it yet. The team that we hired, the Web3 team that we hired for the first month, they completed their first month, and we were getting a report from them on their achievements. We're going to put that report out over the next 24 hours, could go out today, and just give an update on everything that happened. It was obviously an onboarding month, and there were some wins. There were some things that didn't play out as we had hoped. Some of the big wins was the several different spaces that got ran, like pretty much the last ones up until today, all were just massive spaces. The 1-2, was it 2 ago or 1 ago? I think it was 2 ago.
Two lives ago.
Over 20,000 people on that live. That was huge. And then in addition, each of these spaces has had some incredible guests, which they brought in from Theo to, just there's so many, to Paw Protocol to, there's just so many good people building out amazing stuff across Web3, and a lot of synergy between the Packet project and those various different projects. We've been talking about partnerships. They're putting together a deal with a Web3 wallet called Fox Wallet that we've been working with, trying to get that deal put together. That will hopefully happen this month. And there's a couple other partnerships. But in the beginning, we had anticipated that we were going to be able to, lock down a partnership a week, which I think was very ambitious. And while there's conversations with a half dozen different projects, none of them got announced last month. So that was a little bit on the disappointing side, just to not see those solidified, even though they were introduced and essentially, accomplished. They just weren't announced. And so we were just working out, kind of making sure that it was going to make sense for us to continue with the team. They're really passionate about the project. They have great instincts, but there's a little trial and error that comes with marketing. And for example, we were doing these Zeely quests, and we, really as a mechanism to get engagement and across Telegram and Discord and X. And while it generated engagement, it didn't generate followers. And so what you find is people just come in, do the, whatever the quest task is, and then leave. And that's not building like actual community. So yeah, you're getting engagement, you're getting people talking in the chats, but it's not real. And really our goal, I'd rather have less engagement and real followers who are excited about the project than more engagement that's just kind of like hand waving and, fake, if you will. It's not really fake, but it's just not like genuine, interested, Web3 community members coming in to become Packet community members. And that's ultimately what we want to do. We want to build, a real community here. So there's a new set of initiatives that are going to be set forth. We'll be making the presentation on all the different things that happened over the last month. And then we're of the mindset to, go round 2 with the guys, give them the reins, let them continue to trial and error on what is working, what isn't, and continue to drive to create, growth on our socials, and having a team to do that. We do think that, at the end of the day, the biggest things that you can do are these partnerships. And so getting these big deals done with, like talking to Fio about how to integrate Packet domains into their vanity URLs, trying to get a deal done. We haven't even started this conversation, but we have a relationship with Unstoppable Domains and looking to, create synergy between the Packet domain system and the Unstoppable domain system. And just between Fio and Unstoppable Domains, you're talking about 6 million, they have 6 million registered URLs. So that's a large community just that can be tapped into just with those 2 deals alone.
We're actually talking about Unstoppable Domains later today.
Yeah, there we go. So there's a lot of really powerful catalysts that can make a difference in this project and in this community. And then, a lot of people, look, there's not a single person that I've come across who can tell me what constitutes marketing. For going on over 3 years, people have been like, when's marketing going to begin for PKT? And it's like, what is marketing? Just give me a definition. Someone tell me what marketing is. And nobody has been able to define it. And the reason is because marketing is a very elusive a word. It can encompass anything from partnerships to advertising to KOLs. And if you're trying to get KOLs, and I don't know if anyone's looked into this, these KOLs want insane amounts of money. Insane. You're talking about $20, $40, $100,000 for a tweet or 2, right? And or what do they usually say? 1 or 5% of your token supply, right? And with Packet having begun as a mined token, there's just not 1% of the token supply just sitting there to just give to someone to do a tweet, right? Where they're used to that when it comes to the launch of, just a new token project on Pump Fund, and, someone can just give them 1% of the token supply to tweet about it, right? And those projects can go lift off to $20-50 million market cap. Obviously, they just immediately crash down to zero. 99.999% of every single token project that's launched is a failure. And with the depth of the liquidity pool on PKT, that's even as people have been mostly selling and not buying. And it hasn't helped that, Ethereum is just sitting in the shitter for the last 9 months. But it has not enabled the price to really get moving. So that said, we believe that from a marketing standpoint, it's about just continuing to iterate and to hopefully land some of these big partnerships that can then get organic KOL adoption, like getting people that are excited about the project tweeting about it because they see the potential of the technology, not just because they're paid $100,000 to tweet about it. And we are getting support from Base, which has been really, really cool. And there's actually one of their top influencers at Base that we're speaking to about doing a large engagement. They want to be brought on for hopefully like 6 months to create content for the Packet project and really help promote it. And we're working out some deal structures for that to happen. It'd be very exciting if we can announce that in the next month or two. And we think that also the catalyst of the hub and Creator Hub and Packet Hub is going to get some real PR going. And with that PR, we can drive awareness. So my definition of marketing is coordinated PR, partnerships, organic KOLs, and to a very small extent, advertising. Because I don't think advertising is the most effective use of capital unless you have a lot of capital, right? So if you have, $500,000 to a couple $1 million to spend on ads, you're gonna get penetration, like you're gonna get awareness. But if you're just spending 10, 20, 30 grand, it's just not enough to be impactful. I mean, you could spend 30 grand on one article. That's not going to do anything at scale, but that's a lot of money. And so you really need like an avalanche of cash just to keep firing, as I said, throw shit against the wall, see what sticks. Like that's what marketing really is. And so when people say, hey, when marketing or when you're going to start marketing, it's really to say, when are you going to start just blowing through millions of dollars and getting it going? Because if you do have millions of dollars and you can pay dozens of KOLs $10,000 to $50,000 each to talk about it, you're going to get the coin price to move, and everyone will be excited about that. But you need somebody who's down to sponsor millions of dollars and spend, and there's no way around it. There's no kind of like budget way of getting mass market adoption. So until you're really serious about spending, millions, not 1 million, not 2 million, millions and millions and millions, when marketing is not going to be a thing. That said, as soon as Packet market cap gets up into that $20-30 million market cap, the network steward is going to become a very powerful tool for real marketing. Because even with the decimations, if we got Packet trading in the, let's just say, 1 penny to 2 penny range, which is a pretty substantial market cap. I mean, 2 pennies, you're probably looking at more like a $200 million market cap. But once the coin price does get up to those levels, the amount that can be spent persistently on real major investments on like a weekly basis gets really substantial. And I think that's where, it's kind of a chicken before the egg situation. I think that's where we're going to see the project begin to start scaling out. And there's a real stickiness to this project that you don't see with token just the standard token project. Even if they get the KOLs talking about it on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like this, people come in, they ape in, the coin price goes up, it gets gutted, and it's quickly back down. And, you look at these charts that go straight up, straight down, even huge projects, like seeing them just go from $500 million market cap to a $60 million market cap, especially over the last couple of weeks. Some dirty charts out there. Just what's happened. So
I think the real powerful thing that we have here is the partnerships and the hub and being able to provide value. And it's not like, hey, just jump in and let's partner. It's like, hey, here's a real resource that you can use, especially with the aggregation of all those different platforms and games and gambling. And so that's really is my initiative right now, is just to go start, drumming up those partnerships and start collaborating. And it's cool because they're the ones that we've spoken about. They're, excited to do press releases and be able to do collaborations and co-marketing. And that, I think, is where we're going to see the real takeoff. And now that we have that tool, now that thing's live and functioning, it's like, hey, go claim your domain and then, join the hub. And that, I think, will be a big catalyst for how we get real adoption.
Yeah.
They always say like real adoption comes in the specifically in the crypto space is when people are using crypto without knowing they're using crypto. And that's what's really cool about the hub, is that like people who don't really know anything about crypto or don't really care about crypto, and they just care about making movies or releasing music or, books or whatever, games, casino, they can do that with the hub and the creator hub, and they're using the packet network without even knowing that they're using it. So that's, once this thing really reaches the masses and people start seeing the opportunity here from a creator standpoint, I think that's when, people are going to start talking about this and driving traffic, saying, hey, like, go check out my movie over here. And support my, project over here, because I get to, receive all the funds from its success. And I think that's
getting people to self-promote. And that, like, this isn't, promoting our project. This is promoting your project and giving people ownership. Yeah. And I think that's what's powerful about this, is like, don't promote us, promote yourself, and by everybody doing that, we're, many hands make light work. And so it's really just about onboarding and adoption. And that's the big focus right now.
Yeah. And people are responding. That's the great piece. It's like, you build something and you get it out there and people are just like, how do I get on this? Like, let's go, So we'll start seeing some growth. Like, starting now, we have so many meetings now set up after Sundance, and we'll just keep on pressing forward and try and lock in some of these big partnerships that can route in those extra large communities and get people to come start getting domains. So it'll be a big celebration when we get over 1,000 registered active domains, and then looks like there's around 10 active sites. So need to get that number up, just getting people actually building their site. So we're gonna create some shortcuts to make that happen. But yeah, if you haven't built your site yet, what are you waiting for? Let's get going.
Indeed. All right, cool. Nice chatting, y'all, and catch you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to jump into Telegram. I'll put it down right here. PKT Cash. And or even jump into Discord. I mean, everybody's there, but Telegram is the easiest place to communicate with the team. If you need anything technical, obviously Discord's where it's at, and Caleb's usually not in Telegram, so if you need him, you can ping him in the Discord. He's usually hanging out there talking technical jargon and stuff like that. So yeah, man, everybody, really happy that you guys showed up today. Really appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys on the next stream.
Cool.
Peace.
Take care, all.